Hello, friends. Good afternoon, all of you. And let's start for today's communication skills class. So, I think that very few students are here. Remaining students, maybe you people just take care that you are going to join that session on time. Okay. So, let's begin. So, before going ahead, all you people are just having proper roll numbers mentioned in your participant's name. Yeah, I think that Vaibhav Nagne, what is difficulty with you? Last time also you were not having proper roll number. So you just go to the settings and change the setting of your name that you are appearing. You are not mentioning your roll number into participants list. Instead of sending something into chat box, it will be okay to just rename yourself. So Rutuja, no need to send your roll numbers into chat box. At the end or in between also, I may take attendance. So not required. All right. So with this note, let's begin. So I expect that all you people are doing fine and maybe working on your communication skills, oral communication skills, because learning syllabus is one part and learning communication skills, learning English, that is another. Okay. So therefore, all you people just give more focus on how we can improve ourselves as far as communication is concerned. You just try to speak it daily, day-to-day life activities. For example, since you wake up early in the morning, start your thinking should start in English. So today I wake up at 6 o'clock, and accordingly, I'm going to plan my day. So after that, what going to have? Maybe after bath and after breakfast, what things you people are going to do, how you're going to attend, which timetable is for today, so which lecture is scheduled at particular time, what is taught in that lecture. So maybe in between you may also think. Right now we are just thinking, okay, we are not speaking. So if you can start thinking that about your family members, about their activities, about your friends, about maybe number of things, you start thinking in English. And later on, when you people are just very comfortable in thinking, then try to use those thinking sentences in your actual maybe speech that you try to speak it with oral communication. Okay, so let's start. In last session, what you people have done? Syllabus. Okay, so I think that we people just began to start the syllabus. Okay. So we'll just continue the next part. I think that we have done with unit number one or not it.
No, sir.
Okay. So just course objectives and course outcomes we people have done, and we are about to start unit number one. Okay. Just check that my voice is audible to you properly as well as you are able
Yes,
to
sir.
see the screen also.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's try to continue with this. I think that you people have done this. Unit number one, that is English grammar. So in 1.1, we people are going to talk about articles. Probably we may start these articles. Then all parts of speech, nouns, pronouns, verbs. In verbs, we are having modal verbs and auxiliary verbs, and tense is all very important part of these grammar, which you people have to just revise it, make it perfect, so that you people are not having difficulties when you are going to use language in written communication, or it can be in oral communication also. So you are not having difficulty. For that reason, you just try to revise. Okay, so if you remember what course objectives we people have set in front of us, one of the first course objective, it was to learn English grammar or to understand English grammar and its application in day-to-day communication. So we are not going to just learn articles, but we need to apply those articles in our communication. Same with nouns, pronouns, verbs. So take care that you are not going to unmute yourself unnecessarily. Modal verbs, auxiliary verbs, and tenses, etc. All those things also. So I have you noted it down in your notebook?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So can I ask anybody randomly to show me your notebook by starting your cameras if you are with notebooks? Can I ask all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, randomly I will ask. Let's check. So Roll number 19. Vishal, is it audible, Vishal?
Yes, sir.
So can you show me your notebook, what you have written, how you have written? You can start your camera. And
Yes.
I think that you people may not be able to. There are restrictions. Are you able to show it?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. I assume that you people have. Later on, I have to change the setting for that. Let it be. So we'll not go for that. Later on, I will check it. By changing the setting, I will allow you to start your cameras. Then let's go to the next slide here today. And next slide is about 1.2. Okay, so 1.2, again the same unit is there. If you see on the top, that says English grammar unit number 1, and in that we people have now here 1.2. So this 1.2 is about again remaining parts of speech. So which parts of speech remaining here, you people can see that says adjective is here, adverbs are here, prepositions are here, and conjunctions. So this is also part of English grammar that we people will try to cover in 1.2. So you can take.
Might not change it.
Okay. So I have to share it again. I think that for every time, is it happen with other every lecture or with my whole class only?
Sir,
Other
happen.
lecture happen.
I think that is problem of Zoom only. And once I share screen, then if I started slideshow, then next slides are not visible, and I have to share it in every class. For other classes also, I have to do the same. Okay, it's visible now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so take note of it or write down. Continue with whatever you people were writing. After 1.1, 1.2, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, and conjunctions. So to use language, all these are important. So what is role of adjectives? Adjectives help us to describe place, person, or thing. For example, if you wanted to talk about your village, so you can talk about number of words. Will be useful to talk about village, like small village, big village, or beautiful village, or clean village, something like that. Or if you want to talk about student, you can get number of adjectives which can be helpful to talk about student, like good student, bad student, clever student, dull student, bright student. So those adjectives, if you know more and more adjectives, you can use them to talk more about. Okay, so this kind of roles adjectives perform. Adverbs, you describe here actions, how a particular action is done, that is told by these adverbs. So adverbs are also important. So if you try to understand what are adverbs, what are types of adverbs, and how to use them, so that is also important, that we people will try to do this. The next, prepositions. See, without prepositions, you can't say or write meaningful. You can't say anything meaningful. Okay, so prepositions make our speech or whatever you're writing or speaking, that is going to be meaningful with the help of this prepositions. Same with conjunctions also, because it is not possible every time use separate sentences, but sometimes we want to combine two or more than two sentences also. So in that case, what helps us? Conjunctions helps us, like and, or, but, and all those remaining conjunctions. At the time of actual learning, we people will learn about them. And I think that all you people have already done this number of times. You people have studied all parts of speech, like these adjectives, adverbs, preposition, conjunctions, noun, pronoun, and all those things. Here we will just revise it. I'll just tell you that what adjective is, and maybe something kind of types or examples, and some other practice questions will be given to you. So that kind of revision we people will do, and will not go deep in such things. Additionally, you can also revise on your own by just using any grammar book that you have. Suppose that if you have any grammar book, might be from your 10th standard or 12th standard, you can refer them. If you have Wren and Martin book, that will be again useful, that you can refer that book also. If you don't have, you can use Google or YouTube, are there always to help you. So they are your big teachers, and you can learn anything from these two sources also. Okay, so let's go to the next slide then. Now here we people want it to be very clear, because these things may not be that you people have already seen it. So therefore we will just try to think of those points which are we are going to cover in 1.2 3. So here your first point, that is idioms and phrases. Okay, so when you think of these idioms and phrases, similar concepts I would like to tell you in mother tongue, that we call it वाक्य प्रचार आणि म्हणी in your Marathi. So in English language also there are idioms and phrases that we people needed to understand. So can anybody give me any example of idioms and phrases in your mother tongue? मराठी मधला एखादा वाक्प्रचार किंवा म्हणी सांगू शकता मला कोणीतरी?
Old is gold.
I just got old is gold.
All that glitters is not gold.
All that glitters is not gold. Okay, so from that, just these two examples are sufficient to talk about idioms and phrases. Or additional, I will just give one more. I think that I don't know whether I have given it or not. 11th hour. So old is gold. What do we understand from this? Is it like that we people take the word meaning of this, or we understand more than word meaning? We understand more than word meaning, because what is word meaning? It says that old, something is old, that is gold. But is it actually gold? No. It means that some things which are old, they are useful, they might be of better quality, they might be more useful. So from that point of view, we call it old is gold. Same with this. This is called a kind of idiom, all that glitters is not gold. You people can think of that. Appearances can be deceptive, so what you see on the surface may not be the reality, and so you may get deceived also. So meaning, you can't go for word meaning also. And here is one phrase, that at 11th hour. So what is meaning of 11th hour? You can't go for word meaning. 11th hour, does it mean 11 o'clock? Does it mean 11th o'clock, or does it mean something else? Or you don't know meaning of 11th hour?
At last moment.
Exactly, at last moment. So something that you're just going to do at the last moment, that is called at 11th hour. Suddenly it is not planned, or it is not asked, or it is not, but right now you're doing something. In that case, it is called 11th hour. So it does not have anything to do with 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock will show you time of 11 o'clock, but it does not mean 11 o'clock. Okay, so it has a different meaning. Such kinds of idioms and phrases that we people are going to learn here. So we'll get list of such idioms and phrases. You people have to read them. See why we want to learn them, because at later stage you will come to know that English is not all about plain, that you are just writing sentences and you are going to just maybe understanding them. At later stage, you'll come to know that there are certain words which you people can't understand if you don't know the idioms and phrases. So to understand them, you should know more and more idioms and phrases, and there are many people uh, who have habit of using idioms and phrases. So to understand those things, those connotations, those meanings, we people need to be familiar with some of the idioms and some of the phrases, not some of the, maximum we'll try to cover. Then here now we have with second part, that called cliches. So what is this cliches? This word is again new to you. You can take help of dictionary and try to understand. So cliches is nothing but something or word or phrase which is overused. In short, I will tell you something which is overused. Overused means that its original meaning is lost. Something that is may not be taken it seriously. So such words, such sentences will be you people can uh, just come to know about these things. Here you people can take example. Here you people can take is tomorrow is another day. So there are a number of cliches. You may not be find it that much valuable, or you may not be able to go that much in depth. But cliches means that something which is very normal. There is not much meaning is remain, which is overused, and that is not maybe taken seriously, something like this. So tomorrow is another day, of course it is, and every day there is tomorrow, there is another day. So there is not much that you people are going to getting from it. So such sentences you people can talk here about cliches. Then third part, that is called redundancies. So again, this may be a new word to you. You can take help of dictionary here also. I will try to tell you. Redundancies means here that is repetition. So what is repetition? Repetition which is unnecessary, or repetition which is not required. Such words in our talking also, we people get number of such kind of words which we people use unnecessarily. For example, I will give example. Return back. So here in these two words, return is enough. Okay, return means coming back, so there is no need to again use the word back. Okay, so such kind of words, maybe plus addition, you can think of plus addition. Out of these two, there is no need to use both words, because both words means same. Okay, so we'll try to see more examples when we people were actually learning these redundancies. But just for understanding, idioms and phrases that you know, cliché means something which is something means in the frame terms or words which are overused, and because of that they have lost their original meaning. And in redundancies, they are repetition, unnecessary repetition which is not required. You can use one word here. So that's 1.3. Is it clear, or anything is difficult here?
No, sir.
Okay, then you just take down this 1.3. Then we'll go to now, here we people have done with unit number 1. We'll go to the next unit, which is unit number 2. Okay, so now unit number 2, this is about vocabulary. So vocabulary, I think that I have told you what you people have to work on here. People have to work on words, collection of words in different ways. Here only two ways are given. Which two ways? These two ways are here which are given here, but apart from that also people have to work on. Okay, first of all we'll talk about these two ways. So synonyms. So synonyms means what? Same meaning words. Okay, same meaning words that you people have to find out the different words which are having different synonyms, and we'll try to know, because sometimes what happens, we people know only one word and that's meaning also. But if there is another word for the same word, in that case we don't know. Okay, that is synonym. But if we know more synonyms, we people can use different, we get the choice of words here. For example, if I wanted to say something, I can say it in 2 or 3 ways if I know 2 or 3 synonyms. For example, house and home is there, so I may decide when I can use house, when I can use home, because I know their similar meaning words, but that they're not exactly same. Okay, house and home, they are not exactly same. There is variation or difference between house and home. So depending upon that, we people can decide when to use house and when to use home. Next point that I would like to tell you, that will go to next level of difficulty, because like this house and home quite simple and we are not expecting, because we wanted to prepare for competitive exams also, that verbal ability questions also. So therefore difficulty level will be more. So synonyms, such synonyms we will find which you people have not earlier read, and you're trying to find it out first time, or they are new to you. Same case with antonyms also. Antonyms means opposite meaning words. So here you people also need to try to find out opposite words also. What happens, because number of times what words we people are using, they need to be their opposites also. And if you know opposite words, again same case will be there. Your chance or your choice to choose words will be more. What happens while communicating, if I want to speak English and I do not have sufficient vocabulary, then I may get stuck or I'm not able to express much. But when I know number of words, when I know a number of other things like synonyms and antonyms, I can accordingly modify, change the words and sentences. So therefore here it is required. Same case with opposite words also. We'll try to go to next level. We'll not just talk about old and new and simple words that you people have already studied. They will be simple for you. but we will go to the more difficulty level so that you people can prepare for competitive exams also, because in competitive exams there might be some questions for finding out synonyms or some questions based on finding out antonyms from the given options. So that is one way to increase your vocabulary. Now second way is here, prefixes and suffixes. Together they are called affixes, but we will try to understand. Okay, so first of all we'll talk about some root words. So what is root word? Root word is main word which cannot be divided. Okay, so that will be the meaningful word which cannot be divided. So for example, here we people will take nation. So nation is a root word here, and now we like to make other words from using prefixes and suffixes. What is this, Dinesh? Any difficulty?
No, sir.
So prefixes means what? Pre means before. So before this word I will add something. So here I'm going to add inter, and suffixes means at the end of word. So here I'm going to add al. So what word we got? International. Okay, so international is the word. Here international becomes adjective. Okay, and nation is what? Nation is noun. So this kind of different words we people can obtain from different kinds of prefixes and suffixes. We'll get list of all those prefixes like pre, like maybe auto, maybe there are so many prefixes that we people, d, dis, and so many, and suffixes also, like here I just used al, but you can get number of suffixes like words which are ending with ness, less, ship, tion, al, and er or ing, and all those things. So means simple. If you think there is nothing difficult, you can do it on your own also. There is no need to teach such synonyms and antonyms, prefixes and suffixes, but we will be discussing them and we will try to be rich in vocabulary. So these are the two ways that we people can use to increase our vocabulary. Now we people will talk about what are other ways that we people can implement apart from these two ways. Can you tell me other ways that you can think of, or that we can do here? Everybody can do it here to increase our vocabulary. काय काय केलं पाहिजे आपण?
We should speak in English.
Speaking is there. By speaking you'll come to know that you can use different words, new words. So speaking is there. We should speak in English. So that is in general, but for specifically vocabulary, while speaking you just take note of words. Okay, so remember a lot of words, Shubham. It's okay to remember, but see, it will not be possible. Suppose that today I decided I will take a dictionary and I will read minimum 100 words and try to remember them. So is it possible to do like this? Because if you're reading separate words and trying to remember them, it will be difficult. How to remember words then? You have to use those words. Out of 100 I will just take 10, but those 10 words will be used in context. Used in context means what? In some situation, in some examples, in some maybe sentences I'm going to use them, then only I will remember. Otherwise if I'm reading separate entries in the dictionary, that I may not remember. Okay, so this way you try to understand. So that can be done. You can remember words, but those words should be in context. Don't try to memorize those by just learning. Rote learning should not be there for vocabulary. Yes, Aditi, yes, that is also possible, that you can just come out with daily 5 new words. You can follow the same, whatever he just trying to say. 5 new words every day. Okay, 5 new words in the sense, while reading, suppose that you are reading one paragraph, so in that paragraph, or you are reading a newspaper in English. Okay, I think that all you should start reading English. If you are reading, that's fine. Those who are not reading, start reading. Different newspapers are there, Times of India, Indian Express, and other many newspapers are there, or DNA, and all those newspapers are there. Out of that, it is not possible to read entire newspaper, but at least one news article we can read. Yes, we can read one news article. So while reading that news article, you may come across with number of new words. So out of that, minimum 5 words, so people can find it out. Try to note them down in your notebook. maybe you can make a separate notebook for writing 5 words every day. After writing 5 words, you should write their meaning. Okay, so while writing meaning, take care that you are going to write them English to English meaning, English to English. And if it is clear, if you understand English to English meaning, in that case it is okay. But in case you do not understand English to English meaning, in that case you can write down Marathi meaning also. When if you do not understand at all, in that case you write Marathi meaning. Otherwise don't go for Marathi meaning. Many students have habit of using dictionary English to Marathi. I will recommend here you can use English to English dictionary, and if it is not possible at all, in that case you can go for Marathi or mother tongue, whatever it may be. Then it is not finished here. After writing their meaning, second thing, you people have to write sentences from those words. Okay, those sentences can be in your own sentences. You're not copying those sentences from somewhere else. You're trying to write down your own sentences. That will be useful. Okay, so if you follow this every day, and this activity you people have to do it on your own. Maybe I just told you, but I may not check all you people, or you do not expect that teacher should check and then I will write. No, I just wanted to improve my own English. Okay, so therefore I will write this down, and this is obligatory for me, and I will write it every day, even on holidays also. I will not expect Sundays should be holiday. On Sunday I will skip, and maybe there is holiday, then I skip. No, you shouldn't skip. For 365 days, if you just continue this activity, you'll come to know many of the words are familiar to you. And in your reading, in your listening, when you wanted to speak, and your writing, some of the words, not all words you will remember as it is, but some of the words definitely you people will come across. And you people can just try to use those words and vocabulary. Will be useful, because you'll be in touch of those words again. For example, today I read one word, maybe that word maybe XYZ, whatever it may be, but next time, maybe after 2 or 3 days, the same word came again in my reading, then I remember that word again. Maybe sometimes that word came into my reading or in writing or maybe in my listening somewhere, then I remember that word. So this way you people can just be clear with some of the words which are clearly understandable to you, and some words may not come across, but you can just try to find their meanings again also. So you can make separate notebook for writing 5 sentences. This is, I will say, compulsory activity. You can take compulsion from your side. Okay, from my side I'm saying compulsory, but maybe from my teaching I may remember or may not remember, but from your side यू टेक इट ऑब्लिगेटरी. म्हणजे तुमच्या बाजूने तुम्ही स्वतःवरती एक बंधन की मला हे करायचं आहे, म्हणून तुम्ही स्वतः ही ॲक्टिव्हिटी कंपल्सरी करून घ्या आणि ट्राय टू वर्क ऑन इट. सो यू कॅन मेक सेपरेट नोटबुक. Rough notebook is there. In that case it will be okay. If you are making new notebook, that will be again fine. But what is important, you just keep consistency. It should not be that today I told and you followed it for 1 week. After 1 week you do not remember anything. It should not happen. Or it should not happen that you continued for some time, or there are some gaps, and then again you people are losing its maybe momentum. It should not happen. So you try to keep it daily. At the end of the day, you just try to complete this activity, and it will help you, I'm sure. And simultaneously you can find other ways also, like puzzles are there. Okay, puzzles you can try, or maybe there are different ways to remember vocabulary. Flashcards are there, or maybe I think that there are some applications also that you people can install for getting some words. And I think that on Telegram you people can just, all of you just can search Active English. Okay, if you search Active English, you'll get one channel which is having blue color something wallpaper or display. You can join that channel where you will get number of words daily. Okay, what you are searching? You are searching Active English. Okay, if you search Active English, you ensure that the display of that channel is blue color something, Active English, and then you just join that channel where you are going to get lot of vocabulary. Every day you will get some vocabulary from newspaper, idioms also you people will get, some phrases also you people will get, and you just try to just go through that. It is not I do not say that you learn it by heart, पाठच करायचं असं नाहीये. You just try to read whenever you are free. So that time just try to read something from that channel. It will help you instead of just surfing something on the social media. You can do these things. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Then here we people have done with unit number 2. Then now we'll go to the next slide, which is about oral communication. Very important. What I'm talking about, this is oral communication that all you people have to take note, because in every class I will tell you the same thing, repetition again and again, that for your listening you don't have problem, for your speaking you have to focus, for your reading you may not have problem, for your writing you don't have problem, but our major concern is speaking. And this oral communication deals with what? That is with your speaking English. So how people can ensure our oral communication is going to be improved? Here also you can follow number of activities that you people have to do for improving yourself, for the group discussions, for interviews, for maybe at workplace you people are going to use English. So for those reasons people can do those activities. Okay, so here again two activities are given. First one is situational conversation. So what is this situational conversation? Situational conversation is nothing but we people will try to write down dialogues. Okay, dialogues, two friends, two maybe students, maybe one different situation or roles you people can take here, one teacher, one student, or you can be one customer, one shopkeeper, one can be doctor, one can be patient, one can be passenger, one can be conductor, one can be maybe anybody. You just try to think of a situation, and you just try to communicate according to that situation. For example, I think that you can just have two friends are there and they're planning their weekend, so Saturday Sunday is their off. So in that case you just try to think how people can spend your Saturday and Sunday. So you're planning for going for movie, going for shopping, going for trekking, for hill station, or maybe playing cricket, or maybe number of reasons that you are thinking of. So that kind of conversation dialogues can be, first of all, in the form of dialogue. We are writing it first. Okay, we are learners, so we are writing it first in the form of dialogue. So how to write dialogue, that we people will discuss here. So first of all, greetings are there. So you are going to greet your friend by saying hi, hello, or maybe good morning, good afternoon can be used here. After greetings you can just talk about the main situation which is given to you, that your weekend, you are planning your weekend. So this week we people are having Saturday Sunday off. So what is your plan? So accordingly you just try to go into that situation, develop 8 to 10 dialogues, and then there is closing. So you have finalized your plans. So you wanted to meet, see you tomorrow, or take care, bye. So this can be closing sentences from a dialogue that you people can use. That is for informal situation. For formal it can be different, that you people will learn here actual learning situation conversations. Next is here impromptu speaking, or it is also called extempore. So do you have any idea about impromptu speaking, or what is mean by extempore?
म्हणजे काहीही तयारी न करता सडनली बोलणे.
Yes, exactly, Aditi. So, you know that speech competitions are there. So, when there are speech competitions, how they are conducted normally? You people are getting some notice or instructions. There are speech competitions, and for speech competition, you are getting topics 1, 2, 3 topics are given. So, accordingly, you people pick up one topic, you prepare on that topic, and then you speak. This is this is normally the way of just speaking or participating into speech competition. But here is different. You are not going to get any prior idea about the topic on which you people are going to speak. So topic is given you on the spot. At 11th hour, I can say, here I can use this phrase, 11th hour. I told you today only what is 11th hour. So at 11th hour you people will get the topic, and you people will get hardly few minutes, maybe 2, 3, or 5 minutes you people will get to think about, and then you people have to speak about that topic. Such kind of speech will be called extempore speeches, or it can be also called impromptu speaking. Okay, so people can prepare for that also. Here I will try to give you simple topics. For example, all you people have studied so far, let's say if I give you topic like pollution. So on pollution, all people may be able to speak because we people have been studying pollution since our fifth standard. Pollution, what is pollution, what are types of pollution, what are causes of pollution, what are effects of pollution, and what are the solutions or remedies to pollution. So I can simply speak for 3 to 5 minutes on pollution. Similarly, if I give you topic about maybe any simpler topics, like if I give you computer, okay, so if I ask to talk about computer, I'm sure that few students, not all, but few students will be able to speak about it. So what is computer, how it is invented, and what are the types of computers, and you can also talk about the various applications, uses, and so many things you people can talk about computer, its parts, and all those things. If I give topic phone, smartphone, you can talk about it. If I give topic of refrigerator, or you can take topics from nature, you can talk about maybe politics, from sports, cricket. If I give topic like cricket, so such simple topics will be given to you people. So people have to be ready for such things, and you people can speak it. Okay, so actually we'll try to have these kind of activities. Okay, so I'll try to share, Anuradha, if I have, in that case I'll try to share the link for active English. Okay, so that is all about unit number 3. Any difficulty or questions about unit 3? Any questions? Should we go?
No, sir.
Okay, then very simple. For reading comprehension, unit number 4 is reading comprehension. There is nothing to teach from my side. I How to teach reading comprehension, you know that you have been doing all those things. I will just discuss it for 1 hour. But how to teach reading comprehension, it is the skill that you people have to just practice it only. So we'll practice of reading comprehension. Okay, so in reading comprehension, you people will get one unseen passage. Okay, and you people have to read that unseen passage carefully. After reading, you have to understand, that is comprehension. After understanding, you people have to answer the question asked on that passage. Usually 5 to 7 questions will be there that you people have to prepare. Sometimes passages are simple, sometimes they are complicatory, sometimes they are not easily understood. If you think of the competitive exams, difficulty level is more. If you're planning to go for competitive exams, there are also reading comprehension passages. Okay, reading comprehension is part of all kinds of exams, so you can practice those reading comprehension. That will help you to understand reading, vocabulary. All things will be developed from your reading. Okay, there is not much to talk about reading comprehension. So should we go to next slide, last one?
Yes, sir.
So I hope that simultaneously you people are writing down also in notebook. You just try to complete syllabus also. So now here is with last unit number 5, and that says writing practices first. So why does it say writing practices first? Because this is for your semester first. So in second semester also you are going to have writing practices, but at that time you people will have writing practices second, in sem second. Okay, so in first sem, in writing practices first, we people are going to cover, first of all, writing business letters, email communication, paragraph writing, essay writing. So those 4 points are very important. So first of all, we'll try to understand writing business letters. Okay, so when we think of letter writing, you people might have done formal letter writing and informal letter writing. So informal letter writing is about writing letters to our friends, family, relatives. That is informal. But formal letters are for business. And here you'll come to know, when you become an employee and you're working in a company, at that time you people have to do a lot of correspondence, a lot of communication that you people have to do with other companies and your suppliers, and your maybe manufacturers are there, and marketing is there, and sales is there, and purchase is there, and number of things are there. So there comes your business letter. Okay, so business letter is the concept. I will explain with one situation. Suppose that you are a manager in a company. Okay, all of you are manager in a company, and you are going to start a new branch in Solapur. Let's try to imagine like this. So that is a new branch in your Solapur. So there is a new office that you wanted to start. So for that office, number of things are required. It may require some place, or maybe some furniture is required. Some computers are also required. So we'll take examples of computers. Okay, so for your new branch, you require some computers. So now it is not like that I will go directly in one shop. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shop. I can go in any shop and I can buy. But As a manager, you can't do like this. Why? Because here, first of all, you have to just take information about those computers. So computers of which company, computers are of maybe quality and their price and their delivery and everything that you are going to say. So here your letter writing begins with enquiry letter. So first of all, you are going to write enquiry letter, and we'll do enquiry about what? Enquiry about your computers that you are going to order. Okay, so first you just get inquiry from 1 2 3 companies. Okay, you are doing inquiry with 1 2 3 companies. You are sending that we wanted to purchase some computers for our company, and we are in search of these kind of things, so send us your details, something like this. Now you receive from 2 to 3 companies, you got reply. So you'll compare those price tags and you'll see which one is feasible for you, which one is suitable for you. Accordingly, now you will finalize that I will buy computers from this company that is reasonable, price is reasonable, and I think that that will be better for my new office. So next step after inquiry, you are going to write down another letter here, and that letter will be order letter here. So you are actually placing order here, means you are buying, you are purchasing those computers. So you'll again send details by referring our inquiry letter or your letter dated this, and you are placing order that we want to purchase 5 computers or maybe number of other hardwares also, keyboards and mouse and CPU and all those things that you are going to purchase. So this will be your order letter with price tag and how much price that you are going to pay, how you are going to pay, and all those things, by check, by cash, by DD, all those things will be here in this order letter. Okay, so after order, now next step comes that when you receive the order, once you place an order, then company will send computers to you, to your office. And when you people are getting those delivery, that time you will come to know out of 5 computers, computer sets, one something is missing, maybe one keyboard is missing, or maybe mouse is missing, or the damaged, you found that delivery in damaged condition. So computers are maybe damaged or not working properly, defective, they are not starting at all. So in that case, here also your responsibility comes to write later, and that letter is complaint letter here. Okay, so these kind of letters are called business letters that you people are going to do. So that we'll try to see with format what kind of things we people are going to add when we wanted to write a letter, and all those things we people will do here. Now come to this point 5.2 is here, that says email communication. So all the communication henceforth you'll come to know that is going to happen through what? Through email. So email is going to be a powerful means of communication, fastest means of communication. All these business letters also you are going to send through what? Through emails only. So therefore email is a mandatory. If you are using email, that's fine. Those who are not using emails, people need to have a proper active email ID, and you people can just have some communication through mail also. Right now you don't require it at all, but you can use it to save your documents and to send some information and all those things. So in email you have to send a lot of emails to your clients or your co-workers, to your seniors, or you are going to receive a lot of mails, and you people have to read those emails and you have to reply to those mails also. So emails are not like your social media apps, or there it is not like a messenger. Okay, you have to use it very carefully, and for that there are different kinds of things that you people have to take care. Once you have email ID and password, then you have to just go with a number of things: composing email, how to compose mail, how to put people into into CC, into BCC, and what to put in subject line, how to compose the body of email, how to close your email, then how to attach files. You can attach number of files like audio, video, JPG, and maybe Excel and PPTs, etc. You people can attach files to your email also. That all things we people will do here in email communication. The next is paragraph writing and essay writing is here. So paragraph and essay, what is difference? Paragraphs are small, maybe 10 to 15 lines. Essays are more, 25 to 50 lines. Essay will be there. So you people will be getting one topic, and on that topic you people have to write paragraph. Simple, your imagination, your ability or your command of language. You should have command over language. English should be perfect here if you want to write a paragraph. So while writing, you have to take care about punctuation marks, spelling of words, sentence structure, grammar. All those things are important when you're writing something. Okay, same with essay also. When you're writing essays, same care you people have to take care, but essays are elaborated and more broader form of writing. uh, for your placement activities also, you will come to know that some are the companies they ask you to write essays, like Wipro, Infosys. These are the companies which include essay writing also in their test, in their aptitude test also. So you people just be prepared for essay writing also. So that's all about communication skills. We people have gone through the syllabus. If you are not clear with any of the ideas, you can ask me. If it is clear, just try to tell me it's clear. Any difficulty for anyone? कुणाला काही शंका असेल, अडचण असेल, कळत नाहीये, स्पीड जास्त आहे किंवा अजून कळत नाही, इन द सेन्स maybe you try to understand, because there might be some students they are not able to understand English, but you people have to just listen carefully. What can be done? English कळत नसेल तर काय काय केलं पाहिजे? You have to choose a calm and quiet place. आजूबाजूला अजिबात गोंधळ नाही असला पाहिजे. यू शुड सेट युअर माइंडसेट की मला इंग्लिश समजून घ्यायचं आहे, हा माइंडसेट असला पाहिजे. सेकंड थिंग, युअर कम्प्लीट अटेन्शन शुड बी देअर. म्हणजे मोबाईल हातामध्ये म्हणजे सायमल्टेनियसली वॉट यू पीपल आर डुईंग, आय डोंट हॅव एनी कंट्रोल. सो दोज थिंग्स इफ यू आर टेकिंग केअर, आय थिंक दॅट आय एम नॉट टॉकिंग दॅट मच बिकॉज आय डोंट टीच टेक्निकल इंग्लिश, सो दॅर इज नथिंग that you people will not understand. Each and everything. Only speed, I think that sometimes I speak very fast. So you people can try to tell me that also. I will try to reduce my speed also. Everything is clear? Yes,
Sir,
Omkar?
can I see unit number 3 and 4 just for a minute?
Okay. Okay, so you can take screenshots from unit number 3 is like this. Oral communication, situational conversation, impromptu speaking, extempore. Okay, then I will go to the next unit number 4. Unit number 4 is reading comprehension.
Thank you.
Fine. No one has any difficulty, or you don't want to ask? There might be, I'm sure that there are a number of students who are not going to understand, but still I'm continuing in English to make you people habitual for understand. And dare, if you are not understanding, dare to ask me, sir, you are not, miss, you are not understanding. Okay, fine. So here we people have done with the syllabus. So I will give you people list of experiments that we people can, experiments in the sense assignments. We are not having any experiments. We are having some assignments that we people can think of. Okay, so I will try to take you people to there. Just wait for 1 minute. Okay. You people can take screenshot of these assignments. I hope that screen is visible. Is it visible? 1 to 14 exercises are here.
Yes, sir.
So you can take screenshot of this and write down after syllabus. You just write down the 12 exercises. Minimum 12. 14 are given. Out of that, we will cover minimum 12. So first one, it says grammar exercise. So based on unit number 4 only, we are having those some of them assignments. Grammar exercise based on articles, nouns, pronouns. Then grammar exercise based on verb, modal verbs, auxiliary verbs, sentences. Exercise based on adjectives, adverbs, preposition, conjunction. Now here, based on vocabulary unit number 2, your idioms and phrases, clashes and redundancies. Then you have synonyms, antonyms, prefixes, suffixes, writing conversations based on formal situation, same 8 and 9. Reading comprehension, exercise 10. Letter writing, business letter writing 11. Email writing 12. So out of these last two, we'll try to decide whether we can take 11, 12 or 13, 14. So those 12 assignments will be there. Writing paragraph or essay and extempore speech. Okay. Have you taken it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then you people can just think of some textbooks and reference books. I think that last time somebody asked me, so people can take screenshot of this also and try to see if you are coming here in the college. You people can borrow books from library. If you people have your own books about English grammar and communication skills, that's fine. If not, you can take it from library. So it says English grammar just for you. These are titles. I will not read remaining parts. Technical English, English for practical purposes, study writing, exercises in spoken English, communication skills. So all books are available in library. You just try to search for them, or you just try to, if you have any your own like Wren and Martin, I have told you, if you have your Wren and Martin, that will be fine. Not Wren Martin, if you have any maybe any Pragati or whatever, because what is purpose? Just grammar will be same in all books, whether it is your book or my book or anybody's book. Grammar is going to be same for all, so it doesn't matter. Additionally, you just try to, if you are coming here, communication skills book will be useful. From library can take, where you'll get everything from grammar to some other activities also. Reference books are here that you people can again try. English grammar and composition by Wren and Martin, I already told you. If you are Wren and Martin, that's fine. Practical English usage, remedial English grammar, on writing well, business communication, communication skills for technical students. Longman dictionary, or dictionary also I have told you, all of you people have to install a dictionary in your mobile. If not, you install it. It should be offline dictionary, so that will be useful. English to English dictionary. Essential activator related to again your English grammar, and word power made easy for vocabulary. You can try this also. Okay, so try to refer some books also, but make sure that you are learning. All right, so I think that time is up, so we people will take attendance here within short and we'll just stop here. If you have any questions, you people can ask me. Those who wanted to get link of active English, you people can message me personally on WhatsApp or Telegram. I will send you link. Right now I don't have link with me, so I can't post it in group. So you can just try to send me personally, message me on WhatsApp or in Telegram. So number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 is absent today. Then 12, 13, 14, 15 is also absent. 16, 17, 18 absent. Then 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35 absent. 36, 37, 38 absent. 39 absent. 40, 41, 42 absent. 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50 absent. 51, 52, 53, 54 absent. 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63. Okay, so I think that 54, Vaibhav Nagne, you just rename yourself. I think that this is second time I'm just telling you. Next time your attendance will not be marked. All students are having some their roll numbers. You are not mentioning it. Okay. So should we stop here? Should I end this meeting for all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you for joining today, and do join for the next session also.